Hello everyone. Let me check few things here. Okay, so here we go now. Okay, so can you guys hear me now? I think so you guys can hear me. I'm just checking now. Okay. So I can say that we are good to go now. So welcome to Enthusiastic Light channel. And here I'm Ashpreet, your mathematics instructor, going to start a new series on the topic linear equation. That is a very interesting topic, I must say. Right. It's a very interesting topic of the algebra in which you have to find out the value of the unknown. There is a very special way in which we are going to represent a unknown in mathematics. So now let's get started with the series named linear equations, and there we are going to learn very exciting things, that how we can simply solve the equations, right? What is the easy way of doing that? So let's get started with the same. I hope you guys can see my screen now. Yes, so here we go. Let me see that. So in today's episode, we are going to learn the things on the linear equations, right? But I must say one thing here, that before this thing, you guys have already learned about, you guys must have learned about the words, you guys must have seen the words equations and expressions. So who can tell what is the difference between equation and expression? Yes. So now let me tell you the basic difference here. You must have got the thing, but in the equation, let me tell you that the very basic difference, we have the equals to sign, and there we do not have the equals to sign. So let me give you the example. It should be like this, and this will be like this only. There is no equals to sign, right? Now let me tell you few more things about it. That here we can see the equals to sign, but that is not enough for the equation, right? If we are saying that we cannot write 2 equals to 2, this is not an equation. We can only write 2. It contains equals to sign, but it is not an equation. There is something else that we need to look into it for the equation. Apart from the equals to sign, what we can see the numbers, and we can see a variable. We will call it as variable. Variable means the unknown value that is given to us, right? This is the unknown value that we have here. So we have to find out the value of the unknown. So here what we can say, that for the equation we can see equals to sign with numbers and variables. And here it is just to express something in mathematical form. To express something in mathematical form. That is what we can say that. That is the basic difference between equation and expression, right? Uh, Let me give you the example here. Suppose that you have some apples with you and I gave you five more apples. That is it, right? That is the example of an equation. You have some apple, you don't know it. So it can be x plus 5. Right now, the statement is not telling you how many total apples do you have now. After I gave you the after I gave you five more apples. Now, what if I change the statement to you have some apple, I gave you five more apples, now you have 19 apples in total. So, how many apples do you have? In the equation, you will get a specific answer. There is a specific answer. But in the expression, there is no specific answer, right? You cannot find out the answer in that particular case. So in this case, what we are going to do is let's study let's study something special about it. First of all, you just got the thing that what is an equation and what is an expression. Now I'm going to write down something and you have to find out whether that is an equation or expression. Excited for it? So if I'm going to write down x plus 8 is equals to 7, is this an equation or expression? What do you think? Right, that is an equation. If we are going to write down is this an equation or expression? Exactly, this is an equation, right? Because we can see equals to sign, numbers and variables. There are three things we need to take care of. Equals to sign, numbers and variables. All of them must be there, right? If nothing, if any of them is not there, then we have to say that it is not an equation. It should be over there now, right? All of them should be over there. Now let me write down the another thing. It says is this an equation or not? Right? All of these are equation. Let me tell you about that. As you told me that all of these are equations. But there is a thing here. Can you find out that can you observe something in them? Can you observe something special in them? Yes. Did you notice one thing here? That here, if there is nothing in the power, we will consider the number 1 over there. Right? Keep that thing in the mind. If there is nothing, then we will consider the number 1 over there. Right? So it is 1. It has the variable has the highest power equals to 1 in this case. The variable has the highest power 2 in this case. And the variable has the highest power in 3 in this case. Right? It also has 1, 2 as well. It also has 1 as well. But the highest power is different for all of them. So what we are going to do is as we have been focusing on as all of them are equation, but they have the different highest power. We call it as the degree of an equation. Right? Now, when degree is coming out to be 1, we will call it as linear equations. When the degree is 2, we will call it as quadratic equations, and when the degree is 3, we will call it as cubic equations, right? These are the basic difference between linear, quadratic, and cubic. This is how you can check for whether the given equation is linear, whether the given equation is quadratic, and whether the given equation is cubic. So this is what we got to know, right? This was just the introduction of it, that what are linear equation, what are cubic equation, and what are quadratic equations. I hope this one is clear to you, right? So you got the difference between the word equation and the expression. So whenever there is a thing given to you, you can easily find out whether it is equation or expression. And here we can tell you one thing, that is to the highest power of the variable plays a very important role in this thing. That is how you can decide the type of the equation. So in this series, we are going to mainly focus on solving the linear equation. Yeah, don't worry. We will start learning about quadratic as well as cubic also, but we are going to start the separate series for the same. Right now, we are going to focus on linear equations only, right? Because when you will hold the command in the linear equation, then we will get to solve the quadratic one, and that is going to be too much. That will be going to be too much interesting for sure, right? So solving the linear equation in this, there is one point that you need to make sure that you have to do the steps to make the variable alone. That's it. In the see in solving the linear equation, just make the variable alone. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing separately you have to do. But what does that mean? How can we make the variable alone? That is the main question, right? So for making the variable alone, let me tell you. Suppose that the question says solve x plus 17 is equals to 25. Let me tell you the meaning of the question first. You will see the question like this only. There is one word written over there. It will say solve, and you have to solve it. But what is the thing that we need to solve it? See, the word solve means to find the value of unknown, right? And here we have the only unknown thing, that is x, that is the variable. And I told you one thing, if you're going to solve it, how you can solve it? You just need to make the variable alone. Just a second, why it is not working? Right. What you need to do? Make x alone. How can we do that? Right now, you can see that x plus 17 equals to 25. X has the number 17. So we have to subtract 17 from both sides. Why we are writing it like both sides? Because the equation is like a balance scale. Both the sides are equal. Suppose that you are there on the seesaw with your friend, and your friend is heavier than you, right? Then there is no way to play seesaw, to enjoy seesaw, right? You will be always up and he will be always down. He or she will always be down, right? So there is no use of playing seesaw. You are never going to play seesaw again. But here is the thing. If your friend weighs equals to you, then you can enjoy the seesaw, right? And it is like a balancing scale or the seesaw only. Whatever you are going to do on the one side, to maintain the balance of the other side, you have to do the same thing on the other side as well. Got it? So to make the variable x alone, we are removing the number 17 from here. To remove the number 17 as it is being added, so we have to do minus of it. So if you are doing minus 17, on the other side you also have to do minus 17, right? So it will come like 17 minus 17 will be 0, so x plus 0 will be 0, and 25 minus 17 will be 8. That is your answer. See how simple it is. And what we were focusing on, only this thing. We are making the variable alone while solving the linear equation. How do you get to know that? What is the step that you need to do? That you can check by you can just keep one thing in the mind, that you need to make the variable alone, nothing else. I hope it is getting clear to you. Right. Now let's do the next question here. Let's go to the next one. It says solve x minus 25 is equals to 18. How can you do that? Do you know? You guys can guess it. You guys can solve it. Just give it a try. That we need to find out the value of x here. And what we have to do, we have to make x alone. How can we do that? Guess it. How can we do that? We have to, there is an extra number, that is minus 25 over here. What we have to do is we have to remove the number minus 25, right? So to make the variable alone, we have to add 25 on both sides, right? To add 25, so we should do like, it is plus 25. And I told you one thing, whatever you are doing, you got this thing by looking at the question, because you need to remove this number. You have to do it on both the sides to maintain the balance of the question, right? So it is 18 plus 25. Who can tell what is the answer? I can do it in the mind, and I got the answer, right? I already got the answer. So if you guys need to do the calculation this faster, you guys can see our other series, that is of the speed math, that we are going to start soon, right? You can stay updated for while subscribing the channel. You can subscribe the channel and you can stay updated with the same, right? And then you will get to know each and everything about the mathematics in the easy way, right? So there are two kind of questions that we have done, in which there was addition sign, in which there was subtraction sign. Let's do a different question. It will say like solve 6x is equals to 54. How we can do that? Can anyone guess? Now we can say one thing here, that there is no subtraction, there is no addition of the number, right? In this question, we have x 17 extra, so we remove that. In this question, we have minus 25 extra. So we remove that. But here we have nothing. What we have to do? But did you see one thing here? That x is still not alone. There is a number 6, right? And if there is no sign between, you can see that between the x and the 25, there is a subtraction sign. So we can say that both of them are getting subtracted. There is an addition sign between x and 17. So we can say that both of them are getting added. If there is no sign between a number and a variable, we can say that both of them are being multiplied. There is a multiplication sign between them. Let me write it down here. So 6x means 6 multiplied by x. And to make the variable alone, we have to do the opposite of it. That is, the opposite of multiplication is division. So divide by 6 on both sides. So it should be 6x by 6 equals to 54 by 6, right? Six by 6 and 54 by 6. So we are getting the answer as x. See, whatever you are doing at this step, you are doing just to remove this number or to remove this number. In the next step, you don't have to do the calculation at this step. Just remove the number 6 and only write down the number x, because that is what you have done to make the variable alone. You are making the variable alone only. So x is coming out to be 9 in this case. 54 divided by 6 will be 9. Right? I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. You guys are getting the information on this. Now let me give you the next question. It says like this. Let me write down the proper question. It says solve x by 7 equals to 9. How can we do that? Can anybody guess? If you guys are learning about linear equation here, you guys must have learned about fractions, right? If anything is given in the fraction, what does that mean? Sorry. Here you can see that x by 7 is equals to 9, right? So this x by 7 basically means x divided by 7. Numerator divided by the denominator. It is not 7 divided by x, right? We cannot write it like this. It is like this. Numerator divided by denominator. Your dividend should be numerator and your divisor should be denominator. So as 7 is being divided, so we have to remove the number 7. What we will do over here? Who can tell? Exactly. To make the variable alone, the opposite of division is multiplication. So multiply by 7 on both sides. So we can say that x by 7 multiplied by 7 equals to 9 multiplied by 7. That's a step. That's the main thing. Whatever you are going to do on the one side, you just have to do the same thing on the other side, right? So as I told you, you don't have to do the calculation over here because you did this step just to remove the number 7. So you are only left with the number x, and it is 63. So x is coming out to be 63, right? With this way, you don't have to guess for the answers. Right now, we have just started, so we have taken the simple questions only, right? That is the reason, even by looking at the question, you can simply calculate that what should be the answer that comes out to be, right? But in the next episode, we are going to cover the difficult questions on the same, in which you cannot directly calculate the answer. And that is the reason the linear equation came in the world, right? There was someone who invented linear equation. So there must be a work for the same. I can say that, right? Yeah, there must be a use. There must be just to make the things easier. That is the reason it is there in our syllabus to learn, right? So now in this kind of thing we have to do in the linear equation, and whatever the question you have to do, you just need to make the variable alone. That's it, nothing else. Whatever the numbers that are there with the variable, simply remove them one by one and you will get your answer without thinking or guessing for the answers. So here what we can say that in this episode we have learned about the linear equations, in which we got the difference between what is an equation, what is an expression, right? And how can you check for the equation whether the given thing is an equation or not? You need to take care of three things: equals to sign, numbers, and variables. If you guys are going to take care of these three things, right? If you can see all the three things, irrespective of the power of the variable, right? The variable should be over there, the number should be over there, and the equals to sign should be over there. So this basically means that we are going to get the equation, right? So we can see that all of these are equations because all of these are satisfying the condition. They have the equals to sign, they have the numbers, they have the variables, right? But they have some different powers of the variable. The highest power of the variable in mathematics, we will call it as degree of an equation. Keep this thing in the mind. You are going to see this word throughout your life now, whenever you are going to deal with the linear equation. When the degree is 1, we will call it as linear. When the degree is 2, we will call it as quadratic. When the degree is 3, we will call it as cubic. And in today's episode, we learned about how we can solve the linear equation, right? And in this series only, we are focusing on the linear equation part only. So for the linear equation, what we are going to do is we just need to make sure that you have to make the variable alone. Whatever the number that is there with the x, you just need to make it alone. That's it, right? So now we will meet in the next episode. Till then, bye bye, take care, have fun. And in the next episode, we are going to come up with the difficult questions as well and a new concept in the linear equation. I hope you are going to enjoy it for sure.